Hi and welcome to this week's SEC Online Weekly Rewind. First of all, a very happy Independence Day to all of you. In this 23rd episode, we will cover major court matters, including some gruesome cases involving marital rape. Along with this, we will also apprise you with legislation updates. Also, stay tuned to know the winners of SEC Online Quiz. Treating wife's body as something owing to husband and committing sexual act against her will is nothing but marital rape. In a very significant decision, Kerala High Court held that merely for the reason that law does not recognize marital rape under the penal law, it does not inhibit the court from recognizing the same as a form of cruelty to grant divorce. High Court expressed, if marriage is seen as a symbol to project status without reflecting the values the individuals or society would cherish to profess, we may miss the basic concept required for marriage. The nation continues to wait and is losing patience. Cleansing the polluted stream of politics is obviously not one of the immediate pressing concerns of the legislative branch of government. In a matter arising out of the elections held at Bihar Legislative Assembly, the Supreme Court found several political parties guilty of contempt of court for non-compliance of directions given by the Supreme Court in Ram Babu Singh Thakur versus Sunil Arora, in connection with disclosure of information of candidates with criminal antecedents. Penalties have been imposed in the political parties found guilty. The court also issued further directions in order to make the right of information of a voter more effective and meaningful. Catch this very interesting development on SEC Online blog. In a major ruling, the Supreme Court has held that a foreign arbitral award is enforceable against non-signatories to arbitration agreement. The Supreme Court reiterated that grounds for resisting a foreign arbitral award contained in Section 48(1)(a) 2(e) of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act are to be narrowly construed and that a non-signatory's objection cannot possibly fit into Section 48(1)(a). Furthermore, a foreign arbitral award cannot be challenged on the ground of perversity. Incidental to the main issue, it was also held that Section 44 recognizes the fact that tort claims may be decided by an arbitrator provided there are disputes that arise in connection with the subject agreement. The appeals before the Supreme Court raised interesting questions relatable to Part 2 of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act, which provisions deal inter alia with recognition and enforcement of foreign awards. Another very interesting development from the Supreme Court was where it summarized the guiding principles for deciding an application under Order 7, Rule 11D of CPC. You can visit the SEC Online blog to read and understand the principles. In a conflict of right to shelter versus right to government accommodation, Supreme Court noted that a Kashmiri migrant retired from the Intelligence Bureau was, even after 15 years of his retirement, still staying at the accommodation provided by the government. Court, in view of such backdrop, affirmed that further the government accommodation is only meant for in-service officers and not for the retirees or those who have demitted office, holding that the right to shelter does not mean right to government accommodation. The retired officer was directed to vacate the accommodation. Now coming to the High Court updates. In a gruesome matter, Telangana High Court noted that a mother allowed her live-in partner to commit sexual assault on her minor daughter, as a result of which the minor became pregnant and gave birth to a male child. High Court rejected the bail application of the mother. Whether penetration to any part of the body of such women as mentioned in Section 375C of IPC brings within its ambit a penile sexual act committed between the thighs held together, which do not qualify to be called an orifice. In a historic decision, the Kerala High Court answered the question by holding that the sexual act of penetration committed between the thighs of the victim held together is an act of manipulation of the body of the victim to obtain sexual gratification, and the same fell within the ambit of the amended definition of rape. Elaborating more, the court stated that when the body of the victim is manipulated to hold the legs together for the purpose of simulating a sensation akin to penetration of an orifice, the offense of rape is attracted. When penetration is thus made in between the thighs so held together, it would certainly amount to rape as defined under section 375. In a matter wherein a person committed suicide, leaving behind an alleged suicide note naming the person who did not repay the deceased money, though there was a big question mark on the genuineness of the suicide note, the High Court held that mere dishonor of check and refusal to pay remaining balance amount involved in the transaction does not amount to abetment to commit suicide. Modesty of a woman is most precious jewel, and there cannot be a straitjacket formula to ascertain whether modesty is outraged. Bombay High Court dealt with a matter wherein a 45-year-old married woman was subjected to a situation where a man threw a chit on the person of woman professing love for her. The court held that this act was sufficient to be categorized under the ambit of outraging the modesty of women, as even on earlier occasions, the man flirted with the woman, making gestures like pouting lips and hitting her with small pebbles. Kerala High Court addressed the grievances of a woman whose request for maternity leave was turned down by the state, and to then exacerbate her agony, she was terminated from service on the accusation of unauthorized absence. Voicing the plight of the pregnant women in general, the Kerala High Court stated, life as a new mother is like being on a roller coaster, and being a working mother is tougher. The minutiae of motherhood can never be properly contemplated, and it involves navigation through myriad daily issues which ultimately determine the health and future of the child. Now coming to an update from Central Information Commission, 2 weeks back, CIC dealt with a very pertinent matter where an activist approached the commission seeking certain information on the 9-member committee set up in April 2020 to ensure the adequate availability of medical oxygen during the COVID-19 pandemic. In the argument submitted by the centre, they contended that the said information cannot be provided as the high-level discussions of the empowered group frequently form part of the discussions within the highest decision-making body to avert and mitigate the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in the country, and thus must be protected from disclosure given the larger intent to protect such information from being misused or being adversely used against the interest of the state. The commission directed the centre to provide a point-wise reply to the activist within 10 days, and in case if any information was being denied, then the same should be suitably justified. Coming to the appointments, 2 new additions in the form of additional judges were made to the Kerala High Court via notification dated 11th August 2021 by the Ministry of Law and Justice. Read the notification here. Now let's start with the legislation updates. The central government has notified the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Act 2021, which has brought pre-packaged insolvency resolution process for MSMEs. The Act repeals Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Ordinance 2021 and amends the provisions of the IBC Act 2016. The application for initiating pre-packaged insolvency resolution process may be filed in the event of a default of at least 1 lakh rupees. However, the central government may increase the threshold of minimum default up to 1 crore rupees through a notification. Read the full story on SEC Online blog for detailed report on the procedure of initiating pre-packaged insolvency resolution process. The central government has notified Rent a Cab Amendment Scheme 2021, which provides that the battery operated motor cabs and motor cabs driven on methanol and ethanol is exempted from the provisions under Section 66 of the Motor Vehicles Act 1988. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has notified the Income Tax Amendment 22nd Amendment Rules 2021, which provides the procedure for computation of income of a specified fund attributable to units held by non-resident, as well as the procedure for computation of exempt income of specified funds. In the monsoon session, various bills have been passed by Parliament, such as first, Tribunal Reforms Bill 2021, second, General Insurance Business Nationalisation Amendment Bill 2021, third, National Commission for Homeopathy Amendment Bill 2021, and fourth, National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Amendment Bill 2021. Now, the announcement for winners of this week's SEC Online quiz, where we asked you what is the difference between quorum and judge-only feature on SEC Online Web Edition. And the winner is Rishiv Kumar. Please stay tuned to our channel for the interesting legal updates of the week. This is Devika Sharma signing off for the week.